having my persuasive speech for citizenship for all Dreamer students. And today I have my live audience member. It's my mom. Say hi. That's perfect. Okay. So, first, to understand the topic, you might want to understand what a Dreamer student is. So, what is a Dreamer student? A Dreamer student is an undocumented immigrant who was brought to the United States as a child and grew up in the country and goes on to pursue higher education. The term Dreamer student comes from the DREAM Act, which stands for the Federal Development Relief and Education for Alien Minors. Dreamer students have no true home, no true future, and they have no true path for citizenship. Now, Dreamer students have impacted the community a lot more than people think, even with how they're treated. Once again, today I will be talking about how all Dreamer students should have the right to gain their citizenship in the US. Firstly, I will discuss the problems with Dreamer students not having their citizenship, including how it affects them financially through federal aid, affects legal work authorization, and in some states, how it affects in-state tuition. Secondly, I will focus on the cause of the problem, which includes the amount of action taken to overcome this challenge, as well as focusing on why a finalized solution hasn't taken place. Lastly, I will speak about a solution on why Dreamer students should have the right to gain their citizenship, including who to talk to for you to take part. So, the problem of Dreamer students of not having their citizenship is absurd. Not by choice, Dreamer students come to the US, which according to the United States is the land of the free, and even has the phrase in the national anthem. Dreamer students are left to struggle without the ability to qualify for federal financial aid, receive federal student loans, and in some cases, unable to completely pay for in-state college tuition. Even with federal and financial restrictions, legal and employment restrictions leave them to struggle even more. Even with those restrictions, information gathered from Amy Rose in December 2018 from the California's Budget and Policy Center states that immigrants without permanent legal status play an important role in the state's economy, contributing billions in federal, state, and local tax annually. Now, the cause of this problem is due to the U.S. having a structured, strict immigration law. The modern foundation of these immigration laws were enacted in the year 1952 and completely updated in 1965. On September 30th, 1996, Section 213A of the Immigration and Nationality Act was added into law and states that a U.S. sponsor, which is a U.S. citizen, could sign a legal binding contract ensuring that they'll financially support an immigrant. However, this only applies to immigrants with a legal pathway to a green card. This leaves Dreamer students without any legal help whatsoever. Effort to change this was seen on June 15, 2012 with DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. This was a program started by the Obama administration. DACA is a policy that provides temporary 2-year protection to individuals that were brought to the United States as children. On September 5th, 2017, the Trump administration put a stop to the new applicants and attempted to completely phase out the policy, but the courts later forced a partial reopening. However, once again, applications were then blocked and paused on July 16, 2021, when a federal judge in Texas ruled the program unlawful and illegal, which blocked USCIS, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, from any act of approving any applications while only allowing renewal applications to continue. The solution to help Dreamer students with gaining their citizenship starts with understanding how they affect the economy, not only with their impact on taxes, but their impact on easing U.S. labor shortages. Information gathered from Stephen Hubbard on September 19, 2025 from American Immigration Council states that hundreds of thousands of Dreamer students work in high-demand fields such as healthcare, STEM, and even education. Yet, work authorization stops their growing and even ruins their potential. Secondly, the solution could be resolved with DACA, the policy not standing as strong as it used to, it still does stand. This is where you can step in, and on this slide you can find information for contacting a representative at USCIS with the ability to help by supporting nonprofits, contacting lawmakers, and as well as volunteering with groups like United We Dream. Now to summarize, first we focused on what a Dreamer student is, then we focused on how they impacted us and what challenges they had. Secondly, we mentioned the strict immigration laws and how it affected the Dreamer students. Lastly, we talked about the efforts taken to stop Dreamer students and how you can make an effort. In conclusion, Dreamer students didn't come to the U.S. by choice, and without being a legal citizen, they contributed a lot more than what people think. Because of this, they deserve the citizenship with how hard they've worked to be a part of our community.